As the world stumbled into the chaos and bloodshed of the First World War, far from the trenches of Europe, a different kind of survival story was unfolding in the remote, untamed jungles of Papua New Guinea. This is the remarkable tale of Hermann Detzner, a German surveyor and officer, whose refusal to surrender would make him both a legend and a mystery, a man who vanished into the green embrace of the jungle and remained hidden for years after the guns of war had fallen silent. When war erupted in 1914, Detzner was stationed in German New Guinea, tasked with mapping the unexplored interior of the territory. Almost overnight, the quiet work of surveyors was upended by the arrival of British and Australian forces. Many German outposts fell quickly, but Detzner and a small band of followers chose a different path. Rather than give themselves up, they melted into the dense, impenetrable rainforest, determined to evade capture. For the next 4 years, as empires clashed and peace treaties were signed in distant capitals, Detzner waged his own private battle. The jungle was both protector and adversary, a labyrinth of towering trees, tangled vines, and endless rain. Supplies ran out, but Detzner adapted, learning to live off the land and forging uneasy alliances with local indigenous groups. He became a master of stealth, always on the move, slipping away just as search parties closed in. Communication with the outside world was impossible. Detzner had no way of knowing when the war ended, or even if Germany still existed as he remembered it. Rumors of his survival filtered back to the Allies, who launched numerous expeditions to track him down. Yet each time the jungle swallowed his trail, leaving behind only whispers and questions. What kept Detzner going in those years of isolation? Perhaps it was duty, a soldier's unwavering commitment to his homeland, no matter how distant or embattled. Perhaps it was pride, the refusal to surrender to an enemy he could not see. Or perhaps it was the sheer will to survive, to outlast both the hunters and the hostile environment. As the months turned into years, Detzner's legend grew. The local people, at first wary, came to respect the strange foreigner who moved so skillfully through their world. He learned their languages, adopted their customs, and in some ways became part of the landscape himself, a ghost in the green, living proof of human resilience. It was not until 1918, long after the armistice had been signed in Europe, that word finally reached Detzner. The war was over, and he could emerge from hiding. He stepped out of the jungle, gaunt and bearded, a living relic of a conflict that had already slipped into history for much of the world. To the astonishment of those who greeted him, he handed over the tattered remains of his uniform, still bearing the insignia of an empire that no longer ruled these lands. Returning to Germany, Detzner became something of a celebrity. He recounted his adventures in a memoir, painting a vivid picture of his years in the wild. Yet controversy followed him, with critics questioning the veracity of some of his claims. Had he truly eluded all pursuit for 4 years, or had he found sanctuary among friendly tribes? The truth, perhaps, lies somewhere in between. What endures is the legend of Hermann Detzner, a man whose stubborn refusal to surrender, whose capacity to adapt and endure, turned him into a symbol of the extraordinary things people can achieve when pushed to the edge. In the depths of the New Guinea jungle, Detzner found not only survival, but a story that would echo long after the war itself had faded into memory.